Tyrion Lannister is one of the most loved characters in Game of Thrones and wider media beyond. And you might know him as a witty and intelligent dwarf who changes the course of Westerosi politics. But in the books, Tyrion is a completely different character. Like, completely. From belittling a fellow dwarf and hurting women while descending into madness. While the show Tyrion grieved his siblings when they died, book Tyrion promised to kill them himself. Here are some of the key differences between book Tyrion and the show Tyrion. Number 1. The physical reality. The Gargoyle versus the handsome dwarf. We're going to start off the list with Tyrion's physical looks. In the Game of Thrones TV show, Tyrion Lannister is a character who is easy to like. While the story tells us that people look down on him because he is a dwarf, he still looks pretty normal. Even after he gets hurt in the Battle of Blackwater, he ends up with a scar on his face that makes him look like a brave hero or a dashing rogue.
I'm a monster, as well as a dwarf.
However, in the books, Tyrion's appearance is a lot more frightening. George R.R. Martin describes him as someone whose eyes don't match, with one being green and the other black, and a very large forehead. And the biggest change happened during the Battle of the Blackwater. In the book, a soldier doesn't just give him a small cut, he slices off most of Tyrion's nose and part of his lip. Tyrion's fingers went to his face. Where his nose had been was a jagged crust of scab and a hole. This change is important because it changes how Tyrion feels about himself. In the show, people call Tyrion a monster because he's a dwarf who murdered his mother at birth. But in the books, people consider him a monster because he looks like one. And when the world starts to treat you like a monster, you start seeing yourself as one. By making Tyrion look handsome in the show, the creators made him a hero we can cheer for, unlike in the books, where Tyrion becomes the main villain. Number 2. The Tysha reveal. Up next, we have one of the most devastating revelations in the book. The truth about Tysha, Tyrion's first wife. In the HBO series, Jaime's rescue of Tyrion after the trial is a scene that is framed as a way to save Tyrion's life. It is an emotional send-off, but there is no revelation about Tysha or a wife.
I suppose this is goodbye then. Farewell, little brother.
However, in A Storm of Swords, it makes a far crueler choice. As Jaime frees Tyrion, guilt finally overwhelms him and he confesses the truth he has carried for years. She was no whore. I never bought her for you. That was a lie that father commanded me to tell. Tysha she was what she seemed to be. A crofter's daughter. Chance met on the road. The realization lands instantly, and Tyrion understands what truly happened that night. Tywin did not punish Tyrion for loving a prostitute. He forced Tyrion to watch his lawful wife be treated as a whore, and then forced Tyrion himself to participate. At that point, something snapped in Tyrion, and he struck Jaime across the face. Then deliberately and cruelly, Tyrion retaliates the only way he knows how. He takes Jaime's greatest vulnerability, Cersei, and weaponizes it. Cersei is a lying whore, Tyrion said. She's been Lancel and Osmond Kettleblack, and probably Moonboy for all I know. This moment truly marked the point of no return for Tyrion, but the show depicts Tyrion fleeing as a wronged man seeking survival. The book forces him to leave as something far darker. He leaves a man now, fully hell-bent on destroying his siblings. Number 3. The Chain and the Vanguard. Moving on, we have Tyrion's battle feats. In the HBO series, Tyrion's competence is largely intellectual and administrative. He plans, negotiates, and manages crises, while violence tends to happen around him rather than because of him. Even during Blackwater, his role is framed as reluctant heroism rather than calculated cruelty. When he finally leads, it feels desperate.
There's our brave men knocking at our door. Let's go kill them!
However, in the books, Game of Thrones, Tyrion's introduction to warfare is different. At the Battle of Green Fork, he is not sidelined or knocked unconscious like in the show. Instead, Tyrion leads the vanguard of the mountain clans to battle and fights. Tyrion drove the spike of his helm into the belly of the horse beneath him, wrenched his axe free, and hacked at the knight who was struggling to rise. Tyrion fights up close, kills personally, and survives through aggression rather than avoidance. The scene reframes him entirely, not as a victim swept along by war, but as an active participant who chooses the most dangerous position on the field. That brutality only escalates in A Clash of Kings, when he is faced with Stannis Baratheon's invasion. He orders the forging of a massive iron chain, link by link, under the guise of harbour defences. "The chain," Tyrion said. "Raise it when the ships are in the river, not before." When Stannis' fleet sails deep into the Blackwater rush, Tyrion springs the trap. The chain is raised behind them, sealing the river shut, and then the wildfire is ignited. Ships collide, pile up, and burn together, turning the river into a deliberately constructed kill box. The difference here is not intelligence, it is willingness. Show Tyrion is smart, but morally burdened. Book Tyrion is not. He designs a massacre and executes it flawlessly. In stripping back this ruthlessness, the show makes Tyrion seem more sympathetic, but also less dangerous. The book version, by contrast, makes an uncomfortable point clear very early on. Tyrion may despise his father, but when pushed, he is fully capable of becoming as ruthless and pragmatic as him. Number 4. Cold-blooded versus tragic murders. Moving directly on from the reveal of Tysha, we have the murders of Tywin and Shae. In the HBO series, the deaths that follow are framed as tragic inevitabilities. Shae's killing plays as self-defense after she reaches for a knife, and Tywin's death is fueled by rage and heartbreak. The emphasis is on Tyrion being pushed too far, cornered into acts he never wanted to commit.
I'm sorry.
However, the books refuse that framing entirely. When Tyrion enters the chamber in A Storm of Swords, Shae is already in Tywin's bed, naked, complacent, and unafraid. When she sees him, she does not scream or flee, but instead talks to him. "Did you ever like my touch? More than anything," she said, "my giant of Lannister." That was the worst thing you could have said, sweetling. In that instant, Tyrion understands the truth with devastating clarity. The words that once made him feel seen were never unique. They were part of the act. The love was transactional, and the illusion shatters completely. Tyrion lifts the golden chain of the hand of the king and wraps it around her throat. He strangles her slowly, deliberately, feeling the life leave her body. For hands of gold are always cold, but a woman's hands are warm. The line is chilling because it reveals Tyrion's real mindset. This is not a crime of passion, it's an act of revenge that Shae and Tywin's betrayal fueled. After killing Shae, Tyrion finds his father on the toilet and asks him about the fate of Tysha, and his response cements Tyrion's fate. There was no reason for that. She'd learned her place and had been well paid for her day's work, I seem to recall. I suppose the steward sent her on her way. I never thought to inquire. Tyrion fires the crossbow into his father's gut, then reloads and shoots him again as he lies dying. Even then, Tywin cannot resist one final rejection. You are no son of mine." This is the moment when Book Tyrion fully crosses the line that the show softens. These killings are not framed as accidents, self-defense, or emotional explosions. They are active, deliberate judgments that Tyrion passed, and he carried out the sentence himself. Now that's where you're wrong, father. Why, I believe I'm you writ small. Do me a kindness now, and die quickly. I have a ship to catch. By killing his father, Tyrion embraces the ultimate taboo of Westeros, kinslaying, patricide. And, by doing so, without regret or illusion, he accepts the identity he has been circling since the beginning. Number 5. The descent into nihilism. After Tyrion escapes from King's Landing, he is no longer the same. In HBO's Game of Thrones, Tyrion visits a brothel in Volantis and tries to talk to one of the whores present and take his mind off Shae, but he turns her away. Too sad, too broken, but still fundamentally decent. The moment reassures the audience that Tyrion still has a good heart.
Gladly, but this I can't do. Believe me, no one is more shocked than I am. I hope it passes. What will I do in my spare time?
In the books, however, Tyrion's inner life has collapsed into self-loathing and nihilism. Tywin's last words, "Wherever whores go," have become an echo chamber and keep looping endlessly in his mind. Throughout these scenes, we can see Tyrion desperately trying to cope with whatever means necessary, and we see that in how he treats prostitutes. In Soloris, Tyrion finds a brothel and chooses a girl who is a slave to bed. He tries to make conversation with her, but she does not respond to him. Drunk and unraveling, Tyrion asks her the same question he asks everyone. Do you know where do whores go? A dance with dragons. The girl does not understand or respond to him and instead stays still. As Tyrion continues to force himself on her, he notices a whip scar on her back and feels an intense sense of guilt. This girl is as good as dead. I have just f***ed a corpse. Even her eyes looked dead. She does not even have the strength to loathe me. A dance with dragons. He starts to drink wine until he vomits on the carpet. He then asks the girl to kill him. Cut off my head and take it to King's Landing, Tyrion urged her. My sister will make a lady of you, and no one will ever whip you again. When she refuses, he uses her again anyway. The prose is cold, detached, and damning. The girl is unresponsive, waiting for it to end. The book depicts this without any softness or any attempt to dampen the harshness of the scene. The contrast with the show could not be sharper. Number 6. The treatment of Penny. At this point in the books, Tyrion meets a fellow dwarf named Penny. Unlike in the show, Penny is not shown. She's a fellow dwarf, a performer whose only crime was resembling the man half the world now wants dead. Her brother was slaughtered by bounty hunters pursuing Tyrion, and she was swept into slavery alongside him by pure misfortune. Penny is not clever or politically aware. She's religious, frightened, and desperate to survive. In the HBO series, this is exactly the type of character Tyrion gravitates towards. The show consistently frames him as a protector of the vulnerable and someone empathetic. Book Tyrion does the opposite. From the moment Penny appears in A Dance with Dragons, Tyrion's internal narration is hostile. He does not see her as kin or companion, but as a grotesque mirror, a reminder of what he despises most in himself. He hated her name. Her brother had gone by the name of Groat, though his true name had been Oppo. Groat and Penny, the smallest coins, worth the least. What's worse, they chose the names themselves, left a bad taste in Tyrion's mouth. What enrages him is not her weakness, but her refusal to be hardened by the world. Penny tries to please people and clings to faith. She mourns openly. To Tyrion, this feels obscene. He has suffered too much to tolerate this sincerity. She was a dwarf, and he was a dwarf, but they were not of a kind. While they were aboard the ship together, his thoughts turned casually murderous. He weighs the effort it would take to end her life, not in anger, but in boredom. It would be so easy. One push would do it. Splash, and the poor, stupid creature would be gone. A Dance with Dragons. The ease with which the thought comes is the point. Penny is not a threat, and killing her would accomplish nothing. When Penny cries for her dead brother, who was killed because of Tyrion, he does not comfort her. Instead, he snaps at her and mocks her grief. He is disgusted by her tears, her fear, her inability to be strong. Sometimes he wanted to slap her, shake her, scream at her, anything to wake her from her dreams. No one is going to save us, he wanted to scream at her. The worst is yet to come. This is a complete inversion of the Tyrion the show presents. Narratively, this functions as a classic kick the dog moment. Not to make the reader hate Tyrion outright, but to make this transformation undeniable. The man who once raged against cruelty now inflicts it on someone weaker than himself. He's become the bully he spent his life despising. By this point in the books, Tyrion's intelligence remains intact, but his empathy is gone. And without empathy, his cleverness does not serve survival or justice. It serves only bitterness, projection, and cruelty. Number 7. The Sibling Bond. Moving on, we have the contrast of Tyrion's feelings about his brother and sister in the books versus the show. In the show, the idea that family is everything sticks with Tyrion until the very end. Even though Cersei hates him and tries to have him killed, Tyrion never really stops caring about her. Throughout the series, we never see him badmouth Cersei or explicitly hate her. He even tries to reason with her to fight alongside Daenerys in the Long Night.
Daenerys didn't want to debate and negotiate. She didn't want to bring you words. She wanted to bring you fire and blood until I advised her otherwise. I don't want to destroy our family. I never have.
Even in the final season, he risks his own life to free Jaime and let him return to King's Landing to reason with Cersei. He does this despite knowing Daenerys will consider it an act of treason.
You were the only one who didn't treat me like a monster.
After he finds their bodies in the rubble after the destruction of the Red Keep, he collapses to the floor and breaks down crying. In that moment, the viewer sees that Tyrion was willing to forgive and forget everything because family meant everything to him. However, in the books, Tyrion is completely different. After Jaime admits that he lied about Tysha, Tyrion's love turns into pure hatred. He doesn't want to save them, he wants to make them suffer. Oh, you've earned more than that, Jaime. You and my sweet sister and our loving father, yes. I can't begin to tell you what you've earned, but you'll have it. That I swear to you. A Lannister always pays his debts. A Storm of Swords. When he joins the mercenary company called the Second Sons, he tells the commander exactly what he wants as a reward for his help. He doesn't just say he wants them dead, he makes a terrifying promise to rape and kill his sister. Whatever she would have of me, sage counsel, savage wit, a bit of tumbling, my if she desires it, my tongue if she does not. I will lead her armies or rub her feet as she desires, and the only reward I ask is I might be allowed to and kill my sister. A Dance with Dragons. This difference completely changes Tyrion's motivation. In the show, he's a tragic hero. He fails because he loves his family too much. But in the books, he becomes an active enemy of House Lannister. He doesn't join Daenerys to build a better world. He joins her because he wants to destroy his siblings and the world that hated him. Number 8. The future prediction. The devil on the shoulder. And finally, let's look at where Tyrion's story is likely heading. In the show, Tyrion spends the last few seasons acting like an angel on Daenerys' shoulder. He's constantly begging her to show mercy and not to use her dragons on the city.
Conquering Westeros would be easy for you, but you're not here to be Queen of the Ashes.
So when Daenerys snaps and burns King's Landing anyway, it feels sudden because Tyrion spent so much time trying to stop it. However, in the books, the story is setting up Tyrion to be the devil on her shoulder. Since he has been rejected by the people of King's Landing and betrayed by his family, he has no reason to save them. His gradual descent into madness can be seen throughout the books as well. Instead of holding Daenerys back, Book Tyrion will likely push her to use fire and blood. He might even convince her that burning the city is the only way to win. I want to see the city burn. I want to see them all die. I want to see the Red Keep crumble and the Iron Throne melt. A Dance with Dragons. This explains why the ending of the series felt weird to so many people. The burning of King's Landing will likely still happen in the books, but it will make much more sense as the tragedy won't be that Tyrion failed to stop the fire. The tragedy will be that he is the one that lit the match. So, that was our list of the major differences between Book Tyrion and Show Tyrion. Let us know what you thought of them, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, and tell us if we missed any. There's quite a lot of Tyrion in the books, so be good to hear your thoughts too. Leave a comment, eh?